Hey guys, it's WolfMaiden, and today I'm doing something that's a little bit different. I found something at an antique mall that I went to with my boyfriend not too long ago, and it was a letter from 1948. It was addressed to a Miss Anne. It is from an R.H. Stanton, and this is mail from Chicago to Canada. It's a 5-page letter dated Wednesday, February 11th, 1948, and it has a lot of stuff pertaining to the time, including just a little snippet of what was going on at the time. In this letter, the author of it was writing to his lover about everyday things as well as things that he wanted to tell her, you know, I love yous and things like that. And so I thought it would be fun to read it to you guys. I had to write this down in order to get this right as best I could. So there are some words that I could not figure out that you may be able to, but for the most part, I was able to read it. It's an interesting look into life in 1948 for this couple or this man. There's a lot of tongue-in-cheek stuff. There's parts where I thought it was pretty funny, and it's really neat. And yeah. Without further ado, I will show you each letter page by page and read it to you. You can feel free to pause and read it yourself if you'd like, but I am going to try to read it to the best of my ability. So this is the front of the envelope. You can see where they're both from, the stamp and all that thing is pretty cool. And then the letter itself, which I'm in love with the way that they wrote these back then. I'm going to use I don't know when I have not figured out the word that is in these letters. Anne dear, I sure do love to get your letters. With the exception of talking to you by phone, it's the closest I can get to you. Honey, when you do come to Chicago, you're really going to have a problem keeping my emotions below the boiling point. Honestly, this complete lack of your company is almost unbearable, particularly since I'm being very good these days and completely true to you. I don't doubt, however, that the reward will justify this unhappy period. I was just receiving my expenditures for the period covering the last 3 weeks, and I'm agonized at how much I might have saved if I hadn't had, I don't know, many items today for which, I don't know, happen me in a very great while. I don't know, the largest, payment of some money I owed my father and brother Joe. I find that, and driving a car is quite expensive. The amount attached to this equaled my entertainment, lunch, and cigarette money. I gave up driving my car to work there 3 weeks ago. At any rate, it appears that if I continue to watch where the money goes, I may be able to save an additional amount by reducing those that appear unnecessary. I've been finding this quite interesting. The trouble is my accounting system is just a little inaccurate, but still close enough for the intended purpose. I know from my aunt, and she from a practiced, that to solve any problem or establish a system of, in any field usually requires previous experience gained only through study and research, which is the means I'm using, and if I'm diligent, I should succeed. Still discussing financial matters, please, Anne. If you find when you decide to come here that you're limited by low finances, don't hesitate to mention it to me. Even though we're not yet married, everything I have is yours. Besides, I wouldn't want anything like that keep us apart under any circumstances. I love you too much to have that happen, which is far more important than money. The way I carry on in my letters about how much I love you appears to be giving you a smug and possessive attitude. And I like it. Besides, your womanly intuition tells you I'm trapped for good, and it's so right. So take me, honey, I'm yours. Why didn't you say something like that when I was there instead of insisting that you weren't until after we were married? In reply to your question about where Ted and Cheryl were when you called, I really don't know, and since I see very little of them now, it didn't occur to me to cook. However, last night Ted, Cheryl, and I went over to Cass and Figs right after leaving our jobs. Left his bed. Ted and I went out and bought some steak, salad, vegetables, cauliflower, butter, bread, ice cream, wine, and beer, and purchased a big dinner. It was the decadent thing I ever saw. As soon as Ted and I came in with the food, Cass, Fig, Cheryl, and I pitched in and started making dinner. Cass got busy on that nice dish he usually prepares. Fig and Cheryl made the salad and set up the table, while I prepared the cauliflower and steak. I sure enjoyed the dinner. You're going to have to learn to like steak or just, marriage. I can see you now coming home to Mother, or maybe Aunt Molly, since Mother will be so far away, raging, "I can't stand that man. He eats nothing but steak and lobster. Lobster on Friday. Don't forget those horrible raw oysters either. Can you imagine kissing me after I've had I don't know, those distasteful looking things." After dinner, Cass and Ted went to work while, I don't know, had to go bowling. I stayed till about midnight and helped Fig and Cheryl with the dishes. The remainder of the evening, Cheryl and I played gin rummy. Incidentally, she beat me real bad with games, and I'm ashamed of myself. If I ever have a real lot of time on my hands, I'm going to figure out the best system of playing it, so next time I'll beat her instead. Of course, she's very confident of herself now, so maybe I can supplement my income by engaging in a little money game. For keeps, naturally. Tonight, although I feel like going out, I'm in real good, I don't know, for a change. I'm staying in primarily to answer your letter. Also, I took my mother over to meet her regular card club sessions with the girls, so I'll have to go get her later on. The girls have been playing cards together regularly ever since I can remember, and for some time before that, 25 or 30 years anyway. I don't know, I would guess. So you can see that this is a well-established function. Every so often, one of them dies off and is promptly replaced by another younger woman, so there really will be no end to it all. Shucks, lady, I'm running out of things to say. Maybe if I read your letter again, I'll find something in there to comment upon. Before I do that, I think you should be told that I love you, more now than when I last mentioned it, if that's possible. I know something I handily can tell you, and that's how lovely I think you are. I'm always thinking about this, but find it more difficult to express myself without being trite. Even though I don't know, old and worn, that you've read in poems, songs, and books, and heard on the radio and in the movies doesn't make any difference to you. Honey, don't worry about the photography. I want it real bad, and my I don't know what you look like, but it isn't a major item to concern yourself with. I haven't inquired recently, but I don't believe anyone has heard from Bob Majory yet. I don't know if I'd like to be in Palestine right now, with all the recent and still occurring trouble between the I don't know and Jews. At any rate, I don't envy him. Tell Dave not to worry about having some woman trap him. It's real easy when the right one comes along, and when he's ready to. Be married. At his age, I, grandfather, was concerned primarily with finding and dating so many different girls as I could. I can also advise him that I know of no better way to find the woman who'll eventually be his wife than by following this pattern. You keep, in that hope chest. Of course, about the only thing you can hope for now is that the time passes quickly and the first baby comes not before the normal 9-month confinement period. The date of our wedding will be. By the way, remember your initials change when you marry me. I don't know. You indicate that you intend to be the boss in the family. Shucks, honey, you're going to be too busy making and raising children, preparing 3 meals a day, washing dishes, scrubbing floors, doing the shopping and the laundry, entertaining me and my friends to even let that concern you. I don't know. I'll be much too exhausted after a hard day at the office to lift my little finger. I don't know. You sure are going to have a tough life. To offset all this, I'll just have to let you see an occasional movie, although I'm not sure the budget will allow it, particularly if I get bored and go out with the boys. The battle is beginning to establish supremacy in the household already. You're absolutely right. My letters are too long and I'm spending too much time on them. I think one of these is equivalent of 4 or 5 of yours. It must be boring reading them all. I love you, darling. Bob. I know this was a little different. I appreciate you guys watching. I hope you found this as interesting as I did. And thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Take care.